All right, I wanted to quickly go over this product. The middle here that you see here, that's how this tool started. I just wanted like a video conversion tool, meaning converting from one codec and one container from one to another and change some stuff around. Then I added some audio stuff. That's how it all started, and then the conversion buttons here. But then when I was successful with that, fairly successful, I wanted to just keep going because I was using like 4, 5, 6 different tools, and none of them really did anything I wanted like really well. They did it to okay degree. Another problem was a lot of these tools is very big, and some of them were very expensive. And then I'm like, there's a lot of open source stuff already, so why try to reinvent the wheel? So I just kept going. So I'll go over. I already selected a file here, but this is how you select a file. You can select a single file. You can batch codec, meaning you can select a file, a whole bunch of videos, and convert them all at once, or just keep adding videos and converting. That's what that is. But you can select a different file. You can scan, import your GoPro, scan, import your iPhone. If you want to do that, just connect it with the cable to a computer. But what can you do after you select the file? Well, the first thing I developed afterwards was the direct-to-chair player. So you can kind of just play it, right? There's some kind of different features here. And then I kept adding things and adding things. So I'll show you one feature. For example, I can click here. I can click start marker. I can click here. I can do end marker. And this selects this portion of the video. If I send a holding bin, that's exactly what it does. So then this idea came up. The holding bin, it works at the metadata level with the video. That's why it's so quick. But here you can see it says clip 1. You can keep adding clips 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. You can make a whole movie out of this, and you can export it on the bottom here. But each clip shows you the duration. You can change the transitions. You can change how long it is for. There's some, I added a whole bunch of effects. There's some black and white effects, color LUT files. There's a whole bunch of, I implemented open source fire effects. They're all here. There's text overlay. This is an indicator, but you can put text overlay. Just click add, and you said text. And there's some cinematic effects here as well. And if you click OK, here now you have that text. And if you double click on it, it will actually render. I'm not going to do it because that takes a little bit of time, and I don't want this to be a very long video. But you can just turn this off. Now the effect. So then, when you double click on this, it goes back here. And then I added some audio effects here. You can do things. So that's the holding bin, the idea behind the holding bin, working at the metadata level with the video data really quickly. And then you can export the metadata and create a real video. So you got the holding bin, you got the directed player, and then I wanted something a bit different. Then I created the directed workbench. So the directed workbench will scan your video for the rule of thirds. So if you want to, if you have a messy video, fix that. But again, this has like real effects that are applied on top of the video. These are no longer like metadata. This works on top of the video. There's a lot of cool effects here, like really nice ones. I'll pick, like, for example, let's see, I'll pick one to show you guys. Which one? This is a cool effect. Director's player, pause. Color drain is small. Let's see, where's that one effect I created? I think it's this guy here. So if I pick white here, and then make this, and what this is a random spot, or but if I click to preview this, which you can select and click preview, this will kind of render it and let you it will show the original versus the preview. Will kind of give you an idea of what the effect does before you implement it. So that's another thing. When I was designing this, I wanted to design this optimally so you don't waste a lot of time, because a lot of video processing software does spend a whole bunch of time processing things that you might end up later not really wanting them to begin with. So while this process, by the way, I developed this on the Mac M1, which is the slowest machine in the M series, and the reason why I did that, because I want a good baseline. If it works on an M1, if it works on an M1, it should work on anything. So that's the idea behind that, and you can for example, you can implement the speed burst. You can pick where you want it. Let's say we want it here, and then if I click, let's make this like 30 seconds. So now it knows. If you close this window, you can have them open too. It depends if you have a big monitor or dual monitors. If I click here and I zoom in, here's that effect. And the cool thing is, you can move this around. Each effect has its own color. Each effect like its own swim lane, and you can keep adding these, and you can have them shorter. It depends where you're working at, if it makes sense. If I click here and play, we'll pre-render that and show you that effect. So this tool isn't just like a video processing conversion. It can do like everything. After this video would be really long if I went to every single effect. So after this, I'll show you the rest of it. So that's what it is. Now the player will automatically adjust depending if it's working with the holding bin and or direct workbench. It's smart like that. Okay, so we talked about the quick edit. Next thing is the download from URL. A lot of people like this. So if you want to download something from YouTube, now if it's DRM protected, you cannot download it. My tool doesn't get around DRM. It doesn't do anything illegal, but you can just literally type in URL1, URL2, and you can stack them and download them all. You can also download Facebook Reels and potentially from other places, but it tells you what it does here. Another thing I did was, I'm a really big fan of black and white movies. Obviously, not every movie can be converted to black and white, and this one in itself is black and white, but you can even use this to improve existing black and white movies. So if you click on the black and white, these are some of the LUTs. It tells you about the film stock, which ones they are. It tells you how this works. So let's say if you wanted to, for example, use this guy, this will automatically preview 15-second, just like it says here, random 15 seconds, and you can keep clicking on it once it renders to preview. So again, the main purpose of this is to take a color movie to change it to black and white. For example, I own a lot of movies because I'm a collector in general. So I ripped the Jaws and created a digital file, and then I watched the Jaws movie in black and white. It's a completely different experience. I actually talk about this on my website. If you go to, there's a bunch of different blogs that I have about it. It explains how the human brain perceives black and white versus color. There's an entire science behind it. And if you notice that's slow in processing, it's because black and white is processed different than color. It was something surprising when I was developing this. I found this out. Anyway, if you go to my website, the blog explains it. And I'll show you that in a second, how to get to that website. So this is it, right? 15 seconds, it will stop. You can click the next 15. We won't be going that because I don't want this video to be very long. But anyway, another thing you have is transcription. You can, so here's how transcription works. So these are subtitles. It automatically figures out what language is in the movie. If you open something that's English or Polish or German, Spanish, whatever, it knows, or Japanese. And then you pick which language you want, right? So let's say this movie is in Polish. Let's say I want to give it to a friend of mine, and maybe he's in Italian. I actually have friends there, right? It's already picked. Let me, I wanted to show you this download language pack. Let me pick a language that hasn't picked. Okay, pack needed for Portuguese. So just click this. it will automatically download the language pack. The reason why I did that is, I don't want to overinflate the size of the program with a whole bunch of language packs that you might not potentially ever use. So that's why it's kind of dynamic. And there it is. And you can pick your colors, how you want it, whatever, and you can transcribe it. It will do it. This uses hardware acceleration in almost all the places if it can detect it. The hardware acceleration is as follows. On the Mac, it uses the video toolbox. It's pre-configured. Every single Mac has it. You don't have to do anything. On Windows 11, I support NVIDIA cards. Those are the most popular, and you just have to install the drivers for it, and CUDA, it will detect it once you install the program, and there will be install program, a button to install CUDA, which are the acceleration drivers for that, and it's really, really fast. It also depends what kind of graphics card you have, That's what Whispers. Dependency is just like it says. It checks your dependencies. These are all the different libraries installed. If you see green, that's good. If you see an orange, it should be green because this is all pre-compiled anyway. But if you ever see orange, that means there's one is missing, and you can go and check. It will tell you which one is missing. And there's install buttons. You'll be able to install that. Screen recording actually works too. This is a thing I did just for fun. I wasn't planning to do it. That's why it's not included in Windows 11, because the libraries are implemented SOX and Blackhole, and on Windows it will be something completely different. And it's not something I want to compete with. I use OBS. It's not this. I did this purely for fun. So if you're on a Mac, you get this extra thing. If you're on Windows, you don't. I don't plan to develop screen recording at all. This is just something I was playing around with to see. As far as the website, here's the website. You can go in here. Here's my website. Here are the different guides. Here's frequently asked questions. Here's the philosophy. If you want to order it, you can. If you want to contact me, here's the form. Fill it out. Right? So that's what that is. See, am I missing anything? So that's about it.